We're talking about the future of the Cairns Port today and the future of our city. We're here with Norman Whitney and George Mansford, retired Brigadier. Now, gentlemen, the subject of dredging our channel and the placement of the spoil from the channel, I'd just like your input on how that could expand the future of Cairns.
Well, if I could start, I would say that, first of all, look at our history. Cairns is built on dredging, and there's been no impact whatsoever other than to have a fine, outstanding city. If you look across the inlet, you've got an area where there has been, despite what the Greens might say, is wasteland in many areas. Not all of it, but in many areas. And the reality is that if the dredging was put there, the vision that you could imagine is that in time you're going to have lots of green, you're going to have lots of parks, you're going to have another access from Cairns, you have expansion of the CBD, you have another alternative for hospitals and all other government infrastructure without it all being crowded in. And that is simply, in my view, vision, which then allows the port to be deepened and provides an opportunity to expand. And Norm, of course, who's far more expert in this than me, could tell you about the Melaleuca and the bird life and the impact of it all.
Yes, the area known as the CSIRO land, which now has been purchased by the government in 2000, is a ex-cane farm predominantly on the low side of the road. There's around about 300 hectares in that site, and if it is used wisely, it can contain most of the dredge material, most of the waste material from the dredging of the port, and become very valuable to the citizens of the area. It is presently it is a terrible environmental mess. The wall that was built around it allowed the area to be drained in early 70s, and unfortunately part of that resulted in a build-up of acidic soils. The CSIRO did a study in the 90s and determined that the best way of combating that and making the area safe was to use the dredge spoil to cap the area that is dangerous and producing acid. Since then, however, the government in their wisdom decided they would open the floodgates and allow the salt water to encroach on that area where it was never there before. It has killed thousands and thousands of fully established Melaleuca trees, destroyed the bird life that was living in that area, and resulting in a ponded area of stagnant water which is just breeding mosquitoes and is a home, I understand, for crocodiles and breeding crocodiles. This is within 300 metres of a Cairns CBD. Absolutely crazy.
And not to mention feral pigs.
Not to mention feral pigs.
I just got another comment if I...
Yep, certainly.
What, just
certainly.
Talking to Colin now, is that the idea?
Yep.
When we talk about vision for Cairns, part of that vision is the port, obviously, and the surrounds. Now, here's some vision for politicians. Imagine that the spoil is placed where it can be, subject to environmental impact studies, which have already given a green light. Imagine the vision there where you could have the greenest city in the world. The CBD surrounded on the one flank by all this greenery of your parks, your infrastructure, and access from a crowded CBD. These are only just some of the things that could could enhance the visions and the opportunities for Cairns. And it's not happening because politicians don't have the vision and are very much influenced by people who don't want to have vision.
I'd go a little bit further than that because at that early stage, George and I were greatly involved with the Ratepayers Association out here. And the Ratepayers Association determined that the East Trinity area, the whole of East Trinity, was a new greenfield site for the development of Cairns City. We declared out we are not planners, but the area should be determined as a special site, and the government should invite every university in Australia to develop plans for the expansion of the city into this area. It would become a model for the whole of Australia and certainly for tropical living. We also said perhaps even overseas universities, make a competition. Let's have something new. Let's have something for the 21st century, not necessarily what we had before, and let's make this a very, very special place, and it can be done using the dredge spoil to rehabilitate that area down there.